accidentally turned my TV off, and the whole HDMI communication thing, it powered down my PlayStation 2.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Sorry.
Incredible.
So, what I missed?
Technology strikes again.
Now we're talking about Jode's Embrace last. What
Oh.
I missed after that?
We were talking about Scordo the knife.
Okay.
And how he gets into trouble and he's going to be a house guest, so hopefully he doesn't get into trouble in your house.
And then we were segueing into who the other troublemaker is. Our good little drunk
The alcoholic
Alfiq. Yeah. Serene. Or Sarian, right? How do we say her name? Sarian?
Darian.
Sarian, yeah.
Darian.
She's
you can go ask
so
her.
great.
She's at my house.
So great. Love her. She's going to be back in the store.
And then we get some mounts. They're all horses,
yeah, we
so
do.
I don't care. But we get some mounts.
There's a new bright orangey horse double mount.
Never mind. There's that Iron Orc Wella. That looks fun.
It looks terrifying, but really cool.
So you ride him around in Cyrodiil. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
The Hughes Bane Pillion Palfrey. That's what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is an orange horse.
Yeah. Why is it so
It
orange?
says extremely useful for heists. I don't think it is. That's a bright orange horse.
It says the training was just a cover story to hide their illicit work, but they quickly found out having a mount that could hold two extremely useful for heists, but only if they can't find you, which you're like a giant roaming beacon, so.
You are a running traffic cone. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
New customized actions.
I know, I'm kind of excited about this one. It's
a bright yellow.
Yeah, Recall of the Crusader.
Well, is it yellow or blue? Because there's a
Basically-
blue one in the back.
Well, the blue in the background is the regular one, and so it's showing the regular one next to the new one. So
Yeah.
the new one, I'm assuming, is the yellow one. We haven't had a yellow one yet, and that looks like it would match like a Templar very well.
Yeah. I think it's going to remind us probably of that yellow color that, when you like use a potion or a scroll or whatever, that yellow that pops up on your character. I feel like it's going to be like that vibe.
Yes, but for traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Badger Rough Echalet.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cute.
They're fawns with spider legs.
They're just
Not
so
quite.
cute. I love the
They're cute. Pocket
Anyway.
mammoth!
Another pocket
That's my
mammoth.
little buddy. I love the pocket mammoth.
And then the albino script fang tome. So our our book in here could get a book buddy.
Wow.
Fang tomes know not the importance or content of the books they inhabit. In the event that your rare first editions or vital academic texts have gained a tenant, simply befriend the tome via ample spine massages and a gentle fluffing of its pages.
I love it. It looks pretty cool. And a pretty big contrast to the coloration of the one that we have floating around here in the Snugpod with us.
He's
You know-
albino, but he still gives off the green glyphs.
Oh my gosh, has this ever been in the store before? The little Skeevaton?
I don't know.
He's so
But I wanna.
cute. Yeah, that's what you turn into at the end of the one dungeon. Unless you're Lotus and you turn into the giant Skeevaton. That one time. When there was the
Gotta
glitch
love
where
the
he
glitches.
got stuck as the Skeevaton. But you can get this little one as a pet. How cute. Oh! Sorry, I got excited because I looked at the personalities. We were talking about the one costume earlier, and I said if you have the treasure hunter personality, it goes really well with it. Well, surprise, it's going to be in the store in a few days.
I think those two things just tend to go along with the Undaunted Festival.
I do too.
So, because I remember them originally being released around like November, but the Undaunted Festival used to be in November, and now it's here, so
Yeah.
they just kind of go with it.
Yep. Wow, we did it. That was it.
That was one heck of a showcase.
It was. But there's some good stuff in there this month. Some good stuff.
But now we got lore.
We do have lore.
We have lore, and we have other things to talk about though.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have some things.
The one's a bit of a bummer.
So there's no more, because we just got done talking about the crown store. That's why I put this down here. Right now, there's no crown gifting at all. First, it was no crown crates, which, whatever. I mean, I guess that's a big deal for a lot of people. A lot of guilds will do crown crates for merchant guilds. They'll do crown crates for donation, crown crate raffles, and streamers will use it. And
yeah,
so it was no crown crate gifting. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just do crown pack giveaway type of thing, like get so and so amounts of worth of things. And now that's all turned off right now too. No crown giving at all.
Yep. Too many thoughts. I wish there was more of a middle ground. I know that the reason that they've turned it off is because of the exploits that were happening. And I totally get that. That sucks. But it sucks that now it kind of punishes the whole community for, something that was happening with certain groups. I mean, I think there's probably a lot more to it. It seems to me, they seem like they usually have a pretty even head on their shoulders when it comes to stuff like this, in my opinion. Maybe that's just me white knighting for them at the moment, but I think that if they turned everything off, there has to be something more than what everybody realizes. And it sucks. It makes it hard for streamers. It makes it hard for giveaways. That's disappointing. It's disappointing for those of us that do like Extra Life, because we use that as like incentives sometimes. But I'm hopeful that it will come back, maybe in a different capacity. I don't know. Maybe they'll look at actually doing like an actual official crown exchange or official things like that, because that's where I think part of it started to get out of hand, was like the crown to gold, and then also people doing exploits to gain more crowns, more gems, more whatever they were doing. So, I don't know.
Nev, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I guess I kind of just echo the what Crazy said a moment ago about punishing the whole community for probably a handful of people. I'm not I've said before, I'm not the biggest fan of crown crates and stuff like that anyway. I don't have an issue with being able to buy something outright, but I don't like randomized things. But if it's in the game and somebody wants to gift it, I don't understand why you would take that ability away, especially when the number of people that are probably abusing that is probably pretty small compared to the ones that are not. But
I don't know. There was a pretty wild ban, like a massive ban that went out on the consoles because of it.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I don't have that data, so I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just doing something that affects the entire population for I don't know. But it's not something that I use, like personally. So it's not going to affect me as an individual. But with the only time I think that I've ever used that, I think somebody did that to get us an item in our guild house way back when. I think somebody arranged the deal for something like that, but. Maybe our transmute station or something, but anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that they'll try to get it turned back on at some point, because it also has to have a negative effect on their revenue stream. I mean,
I'm sure
if people can't
all
use
their
that,
microtransactions and stuff, yeah.
I mean, if people can't use it to because there are those people that just have the money to spend on that stuff and it doesn't really bother them, but they want the in-game money. So the whole crowns for gold thing still turns into revenue for them. So
well, and it's hard too as guild masters, because sometimes people, like, we have officers that will stock up on certain platforms on crowns, And they do that intentionally so that when they run events, they can get participation to get, big groups of people where they can do like
Right.
a giveaway. Like at the holidays on PC, sometimes we would do like a costume contest, and whoever won would get a 1,500 crown pack or, whatever. And now we can't do any of that. Or
Yeah.
like furnishings, like that's another big one. Like crown furnishings, gifting,
Right.
stuff like that. Like I sent you that desk the one time for the one spot in the bank in the guild house. It's little things that add up. I get it. Like I said, I think that if they turned it completely off, there's more than meets the eye to the situation. It just sucks because until we know what's going to come out of it, it sucks to be in that position.
I guess
So-
the way to get around, for the time being, doing those kind of things would be if your platform store allows any kind of gifting, which PlayStation I don't think does either. I don't think that
No.
you can gift any, any kind of things like that. But I don't know if other storefronts do. You could always just, I guess, if you were going to gift something, if you're going to do a 1,500 crown, you could just get a $15 gift card for your store and give that code out. But still, it's more of a hassle than, it's not as convenient.
Right.
But, all right, so tell me, I had to step away for a second, but tell me if you guys covered these points, because since I am doing an Extra Life thing this weekend, and normally, I do have ESO Plus, generally, and, I've been playing this game long enough, I can handle my inventory. It's just nice for the housing and stuff. I don't necessarily need it, but it's nice to have, right? And I'll save those crowns and use them for, like, giveaways and stuff during Extra Life, right? It just makes sense. I don't really need anything from the store anymore. Most of the cosmetics I find is clutter. But, so of course I immediately, the second I saw this news, scoured the Discord, all the Discords I'm in Twitter, and just looked at everyone's different responses. And a couple of the things that were pointed out is, okay, well, first, my own personal opinion is you're right. There has to be something deeper going on, because have you ever heard of a company going, we're going to turn off this thing that gives us money?
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen something like that done was in New World. Literally. There was, at one point, they turned off, like, everything, because there were a bunch of exploits happening in the trading post.
Like, why would what? We're turning off a thing that gives us money. Okay, well, there must be something besides, something actually weird going on, that they legally have to do something about. But who knows, right? We don't know. All we know is it's turned off. But a couple things that I saw when I was perusing all of the different responses and everyone's reactions were how it might more help stabilize the economy and prices might go down in traders. I've also seen, of course, there's going to be a lot less, because of the lack of gifting, there might be a lot less engagement in guilds and other events.
Yeah, that's a concern that I have,
Which is why I think it's very hilariously convenient. I am now playing on all platforms and all servers now. Because I don't know if it's PC or Xbox. I think it might be Xbox. But I have a Galen treasure map I know I can use as a gift if those are still fancy enough for people.
Nice.
I don't care about those. I don't know. I log in on a thing that I don't use, and all of a sudden I have Galen treasure maps. I don't know.
Nice.
Just, hey, you're here. Have a map. Anyway, I don't even know if those are still popular anymore. It's been a minute, but I'm pretty sure people are still trying to get that skin.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, now people have to get more creative with what they're doing, and they can't really be all inclusive. It might start. So I'm very curious to see if it does the stabilizing the economy thing. That's my question: what are the economies going to look like now that you can't do the crown gold ratio exchange?
Yeah.
How that will change over time.
Who knows?
Who knows? But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how long it's out and what happens.
Yep. All we can do.
Exactly. Though, talking about stores and things, there's actually new stuff in the IRL store, the Bethesda store. And this is hilarious, okay? Okay, so first, I am going to be that person who totally rips this thing to shreds.
Yeah.
Because that's just knowing my background and knowing companies and just knowing everything. I'm going to rip it to shreds. Sorry, because it's hilarious. Okay, so what, Thursday? I think it was Thursday night. Like, this got announced on Friday that it was in the store. And literally Thursday night I was going, because I was hopping on my wall of crazy, and one of my things I'm thinking of for next year is the Amulet of Kings is going to come back into being a thing. And then all of a sudden, and I'm like, I want to make an Amulet of Kings. Dang it, I don't have resin. I guess I'm going to have to wait. And then the next morning, what's in the Bethesda store? But an Amulet of Kings.
Wow.
I'm like, this thing looks like shit, but it gives me hope.
Oh no. All right, so we know how Gwen feels about the quality.
So it's made by Fnatic, which, if you look at other stuff that's made by Fnatic, it looks like the type of thing you would expect the packaging to see like dust on in a comic shop 20 years down the road. And it's made out of, what does it say? It's made out of zinc alloy with antique gold plating and colored gems. Now, if you look at the picture of it, the gem isn't very defined. Like the coat, the thing the gem is set in, the main red diamond is set in, is great. The thing the red diamond is set in is great. My only issues are actually with the red diamond itself. I mean, even the gems for the 8 divines are kind of iffy. They really look like costume gems, like a kid would bedazzle something with. But my only issue is with the actual red diamond itself, because if you go and you look at images we've seen of the red diamond in the past in games, even like Oblivion, which this one is specifically referencing, it is more translucent and bright and shiny, and this is, it's clearly made to be mass produced.
Right.
That's how it looks. It's clearly made to be mass produced, but something that is meant to be a limited quantity item, I'd expect to have a little more effort put into it, especially for the price tag.
I think it's interesting, and I don't know what the difference is, but like I forgot to talk about this because I forgot I talked about it on Lore Seekers, but I don't think I talked about it on our show. I just bought the Elder Scroll that was made by Rocklove in partnership with the Bethesda store, and it's great quality, like beautiful.
Rocklove does great work.
Yeah, like really, really beautiful. So when I saw this, I originally thought, oh, I wonder if they used Rocklove. And then when I looked and it wasn't, I kind of went, huh, interesting. So I don't know. That's all. That's what I was going to say. I don't know.
The fun thing is, though, first I looked at it and I was reading everything on it because I'm just like, okay, why does this thing look the way it does? I researched Fnatic and I looked at their other stuff and it's like, okay, this is just the quality we should expect out of this company. But there's only 2,006 made is the limited quantity. And I'm like, what? Did part of the mold break? Like, what the heck? No, there's only 2006 because Oblivion came out in 2006. That's hilarious. That's great.
Yeah.
Whoever decided on doing that, kudos.
Well done.
I love that.
Well done.
I giggled. That made my day.
I love it.
But yeah, so for tonight for lore, because I was already obsessed with the idea of the Amulet of Kings and my little wall of crazy, thinking that it's going to be a big part of the 10-year anniversary in the next part of the story arc and stuff. That it was going to come back into play. It's my little wall of crazy and being obsessed with it. I decided for lore and for No Murder Hobos tonight, we're going to talk about the Amulet of Kings and Soul Gems, because you know what? The Amulet of Kings is a giant frickin' soul gem.
Yup.
I did not know that.
Yup.
It's a giant soul gem. That's terrifying. So I'm going to read you an article, and you can be terrified with me now if you didn't already know this, okay? All right. We're not going to read everything about the Amulet of Kings. We're just going to read, we're reading from the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, and we are going to be reading about the Amulet of Kings, aka the Red Diamond, and we're just going to be reading the what is relevant up to the current time period we are in. We will not be reading through, should we read through the time period? Should we just cover the synopsis? Because it's been about 10 years since the game came out.
Yeah.
I'll warn you guys. I will read through it, and I will warn you guys when I'm about to read about what happens to it in the second era. So if you don't want to hear that, you can skip ahead like 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pretty fast reader, but I'll give you the warning. We'll do that. All right. So the Amulet of Kings, also called the Amulet of the King's Glory, was a pendant traditionally worn by the ruling Emperor of Cyrodiil. Set in its center is the Chim El Adabal, also known as the Red Diamond, a huge soul gem of alien origin. It was held in a golden clasp surrounded by 8 smaller gems that represented the 8 divine of the original Cyrodiilic pantheon. Created by Queen Alessia, it served as the symbol of the divine right of the Cyrodiilic emperors. The amulet was an important component of the coronation ceremony and a powerful artifact when used for deviation. The soul of each reigning emperor was enshrined within the central stone, presumably during the coronation ritual involving the Dragonfires and the Divine Covenant. In this way, Cyrodiil's rulers were brought together in death, forming an oversoul that could provide counsel to their successors. The amulet could only be worn by certain individuals. Those who could wear it were said to have the dragon blood in their veins. The specific requirements, however, have been a subject of debate, and they may simply have called the attributes of a ruler or some divine mandate. The Amulet of Kings is a sacred symbol of the Empire, although some people think the red dragon crown as the Empire's main symbol of power. I don't know about you, but I haven't heard any songs about the red dragon crown. Origins. According to legend, the Red Diamond was formed when a drop of blood fell from the heart of Lorcan as it was flung to Tamriel and landed down an Ayleid well. We've all heard that song. The magicka within fused it to a strong red crystal, and the Ayleids fashioned it into a great gem. It enters human history when Akatosh forged the covenant with Alessia and her symbolic descendants while she lay on her deathbed. The gem was fastened in an amulet and became the symbol of both the covenant and the legitimacy of Cyrodiil's rulers. Following the breakup of the Alessian Empire, the Amulet of Kings was lost amid the Civil War. According to legend, a certain King Harald tracked down the spirit of Saint Alessia, who wore the Amulet of Kings around her neck. And then a hill was named Sancretor rose on the spot. The infant Remen Cyrodiil was found upon the crest wearing the amulet on his brow. The Amulet of Kings was restored to prominence during the Remen years, lending legitimacy to the dynasty after that time. The Dragon Flames ritual became essential to the coronation of each new emperor. During the ritual, the new monarch was soul linked to the Amulet of Kings and sent to the Temple of the One to light the enchanted dragon fires, which then burned until his death. Alright, so that's your little bit of history. Now here's your warning. I'm going to read the bit that leads up to where we are during the Second Era. In the middle of the Second Era, 5 companions embarked on a quest to rediscover the Amulet of Kings. Their leader, Vernacularis, was led to believe that the amulet could be used in a ritual that would rekindle the dragon fires and then make him a true dragonborn. This would allow him to be recognized as legitimate ruler of the Empire. After years of searching, the companions eventually found the amulet. They initiated the ritual in the Imperial City, and then it was that Minimarco, another one of the companions, revealed his treachery and corrupted the ritual and break the ancient covenant with Akatosh and the mortals. This caused a catastrophic event known as the Soul Burst. aka the whole reason why we have to deal with all this nonsense right now anyway. Sai Sahan took the Amulet of Kings and fled. He then hid it in Sankrator, which is officially the worst place to hide that thing. Insert Gwen note. The worst place to hide that thing, because that's where they found it in the first place. Anyway, the amulet was recovered from Sankrator in 2nd Era 582 by the Vestige Tharn, Sahan, and Titanworm. It was later used to perform the ritual which imbued the vestige with powers that allowed them to defeat Molag Bal. After Molag Bal's defeat, Abnatharn took the amulet and fled to Cyrodiil. Although it was suspected he would attempt to use it, unbeknownst to him, the amulet's power had been expended for at least a generation. Alright, there we go. That is everything we know up to the end of this time period on the Amulet of Kings, and Sahan is an idiot. Now then, that's just Gwen notes.
Tell us how you really feel.
Why would you hide the thing where everyone originally found the thing if you don't want them to find the thing?
Hiding it in plain sight. You think to yourself, no one could possibly be dumb enough to put it exactly where it came from.
Okay. The only reason I'm saying dumb is because he also hid another thing in a crypt when they're fighting a necromancer. Just...
That's also true.
Exactly. He has... Don't get me wrong, he's my favorite of the companions. He does have multiple strikes against him towards his intelligence. He makes up for it all in elsewhere. Anyway. So, they're running around wearing this gem. The Emperors are running around wearing this gem with other souls of previous Emperors trapped inside it. And your soul is set to be trapped inside it. I don't know. I don't think I want to be Emperor if I know my soul is doomed to forever be in a gem.
So, does this make this essentially a Horcrux?
No, it's a soul gem.
Well, you put your own soul in it. Anyway.
Yeah,
franchise.
I mean...
Also, those involve murder. Anyway.
And it doesn't expand your... It does not expand your life.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Horcruxes do, technically.
Yep. So, there's that. Now we get to learn some fun stuff about soul gems. There's a lot of lore tonight, but there's a lot to soul gems. Soul gems are actually a little more in-depth instead of just, I'm gonna res you! Now you get to know the dark stuff to the resing.
Well, weren't soul gems also used in enchanting in Skyrim and maybe the other games too?
Yes. And Skyrim, if you've played Skyrim, you should already feel bad about being doing soul gems if you played the Dragonborn DLC.
Yep.
You should already feel bad. You should feel really bad.
Oh boy.
So, the history of black soul gems and soul trapping. Soul gems are moral filth. Soul gems are used in the process of binding souls using magic. Thank you. These gems are used to enchant and charge magical items, animate undead or artificial constructs, or cast powerful destructive spells. For this purpose, creatures' souls are usually trapped at the moment of death. Soul gems can be mined from geode veins. One of such locations contains geodes is Blackreach. The origin of soul gems can be tracked back to Harvester of Souls himself, Molag Bal. Of course, Molag Bal would be the one who made soul gems, of course. Who used a portion of his power in their creation. Black soul gems can be found within the depths of Cold Harbor, where Bal fine-tunes them to increase their efficiency. Alright, so some of this I'm going to summarize for you guys. Do we want to summarize it or do we want to read all of it?
I would summarize just because, if you want to do your murder hobo stuff.
Alright, we're going to summarize this. Basically, Soul trapping is known to date back to the First Era, because people are horrible, where techniques to bind a soul to an unhatched egg were practiced in Black March before they were banned because these techniques were prone to error. After the Mages Guild was founded during the Second Era, the ban was lifted and the practice of soul trapping resumed. Around the same time period in the Clockwork City, Solthasil was messing around with black soul gems and trying to figure out different things with souls, tinkering around as the tinkering god does, right? One of the things of note is he started to mess around with the black soul gems, which he used on the temple saints Thelms, Olms, and Lothis. You might recognize those names as test subjects, where he transferred their souls into the soul gems and put them in Grahtwood bodies. So these ended up being, you fight these guys in the,
Are they in the trial?
yes, I'm trying to remember the name of the trial.
It's the one that has the TikTok tormentor. That one, the Clockwork trial.
Yes.
My brain hurts.
Asylum Sanctorum, I was
Thank
right.
you.
It is Asylum Sanctorum. You fight all of them in Asylum Sanctorum. So what happened during that, though, is Solthasil learned that putting souls into black soul gems caused the soul to go insane. They basically lose who they are and become extremely aggressive. So the souls ended up being retired from the Fractotems and laid to rest, and black soul gems were banned. They were not. Solstice was like, nope, we're not touching this. We're done. Now, another thing that was going on with black soul gems in this time period is Menimarco and his underlings were expelled from Artaeum by the Sigic Order because they were messing around with necromancy. Now, one of his followers at the time was Vestari, and she was also very interested in the soul gems. But she had wanted to do it for better reasons. And when she figured out what Menimarco was doing, she left the Worm Cult, and you actually end up meeting her over in Valenwood. She is a lich. She is a high elf lich. And you end up meeting her over in Valenwood. She's actually very nice. You also meet her again elsewhere. But she was working on a way to stabilize black soul gems. However, when she brought the research to the Mages Guild in Vanis Galerion, they were all absolutely disgusted with the entire idea, and basically, black soul gems are taboo. No one likes them. No one uses them. They're horrible. Don't touch it. That's kind of the whole gist of all this, is as a culture in Nirn during the Second Era, no one... Solthasil's not cool with it. Sigic Order's not cool with it. Mages Guild isn't cool with it. No one's really cool with black soul gems. That pretty much summarizes the use of the black soul gems. However, regular soul gems we clearly use all the time for small enchantments here and there, and imbuing things with magic power. Now, those soul gems come from the souls of creatures you are either you are killing or someone killed at the bit of death. And something note that we learn in 4th Era Skyrim, at least, is the entire soul isn't necessarily lost, even when the soul gem is spent. There's always a little bit that's trapped, hanging on. And that's kind of terrifying. So that leads us into our murder hobos for the night. Which is, in a land such as Tamriel, where it is commonly known that a soul holds value, and the places it can end up, think on what we've learned about soul gems. Do you feel differently about using them? How would your character react to knowing this information? Is it just survival, them or me? As a vestige, your soul was already taken once. You were indeed dead. Do these things not matter to you anymore, or does it make you more sensitive to the topic? There we go. Those are our prompts for the night. Think about how you and your character, how you don't necessarily think about how you feel about soul gems, but think about how your character would feel about soul gems. How would they care? Would they not care? Is it just another tool to use? With places like the void and other things going on, the souls hold value in this world. And how does your character feel about those souls being used? After all, your soul was stolen and put into a black soul gem if you were a vestige.
It's true. But I got it, well, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm out trying to save the world, and bad guys keep trying to stop me from saving the world. So if I have to take, in order to make sure that I have the power needed to do the job I'm trying to do, I have to use the souls of very, very wicked beings and to power my abilities. Well, they started it.
Well, the other thing too is, for me, you have to look at as well, like some of the very popular soul gems that have been in the games, like Azura Star, you know, of course the Amulet of Kings, right, that we've talked about. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the one that's probably the most notable is Azura Star. It's basically a, like, well, it only is supposed to capture white souls, but at one point it could take black souls, so I don't know. That's kind of a hard one, because I feel like I agree with Never in terms of, like, if it's happened to me, then I understand the weight of what it means, but also I think my person wouldn't be running around trying to make like a ton of black soul gems. Like she wouldn't be running around trying to take people's souls necessarily, but I think if it was like other creatures, or as bad as it sounds, like animals or things that were being hunted because they were also hunting me, I don't think there would be a problem with it.
Because that is the thing we have to remember, is most of the souls we use
are white souls.
Are regular, basic, are not black soul gems. They're regular soul gems, which means you're using a Daedra soul, a Fox's soul,
yeah,
a Sench soul.
Like that. That's what. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're not necessarily using a black soul gem. You're not necessarily using someone else's soul for yourself.
Yeah. I think that would be where the divide was for me. You know.
So it's one of those. All right, cool. We're hunting pheasants this weekend. Except you're using the pheasant soul to power your bow.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, it's gonna sound weird, but like as a hunter, you know, so many like hunter-gatherer societies go with like nothing wasted. You know, like you use every piece of the animal or every piece of whatever it is that you're taking. So to me, in Tamriel, a soul gem would almost be a portion of that as well. If the animal is going to be used for something, or, you know, whatever, you're leaving nothing behind. I know that sounds a little weird, but I guess if you were thinking of it from that aspect too.
All right.
You know.
And there we go. We've dived into the deep topic of souls and have learned the Amulet of Kings is terrifying.
Very cool.
And I am totally not in the process of actually crafting my own right now. Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
We went through my wife and I were shopping the other day and going through the meat section, and you're talking about the whole nothing wasted mentality. And we walked by beef tongue.
Yep.
And I'm gonna waste that part, guys.
Have you ever heard of brain cheese or head cheese?
Yeah,
Like,
head
come on.
cheese.
Yeah, it's all
No.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not for me, it ain't. Anyway. Uh, yeah. Yep. Soul gems come in handy. So
Mm-hmm.
if my enemies decide to get in my way, then they shall become fuel for me to defeat bigger enemies.
You know where you can defeat bigger enemies?
With your friends.
On Mondays. Look at that transition.
I
Look at
know.
that.
It was amazing.
I thought you
So
were going to
proud.
say on a bigger TV.
Well, that too. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you can defeat things with your friends on Mondays with Moki. Maybe you're doing fishing. Maybe you're doing Cyrodiil. Maybe you're doing world bosses. Maybe you're doing Bastion Mimics, because I know that's been a thing lately. Whatever you're doing, if you're in the guild and you want to join, grouping starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. There you go. That was my PSA.
And if you want to jump into some dungeons, you can do that on Tuesdays, on Treacherous Tuesdays. That's just an opportunity to get together with other folks in the guild and run through a dungeon of your choice in the method of your choice. Gear farms, lore runs, speed runs, achievement hunting, any of that kind of stuff. Jump in there and get some guildies and just have some fun. Gwen,
Fearless
what's the
Friday.
last one?
Fearless Friday with our 30-year Dragoon. Running the Undaunted dungeon.
Undaunted?
Undaunted.
We
Are
are
undaunted.
Undaunted. We
Again.
already did that earlier.
Again.
That's
But
okay.
it was so fun.
It's so bad we got to do it again.
I was daunted
haven't
by
been-
doing Undaunted twice.
We haven't done it all together, so we're making up for as many times as we've missed shows altogether.
Lost time.
Oh. Sleepy cat.
Nah, just big yawn.
Cats are always
Nah.
sleepy.
Cats are always napping. So that's our guild announcements. Something else really fun happened.
Yeah.
I checked our email, even though I'm too young, according to Never.
I'm not sure I figured it out.
Yeah.
When I looked, these emails weren't even there.
Yeah, it's got to do with that fancy Sigic communication device that shows me notifications at the top of my scroll. So we had a couple Spotify responses. They're both from Ronkar. I think that's how you say their name. And they're both kind of mostly to you, Gwen, but I love them because they were published on our episodes. So one of them was from the Tales of a Bard episode, which was where you talked about the tavern in Germany. And Ronkar said, an EU friend of Wolfie from Aelith Legion. Loved your drawing of them from the ESO Tavern, and through her found the show. Awesome work. Love the snug format. Keep it up.
Aww.
It's very
So, really, really cool. Thank you so much for leaving that for us. You're like the first person that's given us like a true kind of like little review there. We've had a couple other people just mention stuff, but like or answer questions, but nobody's ever given us a little review, so thank you. The other one was from the ESO Bugs episode, and it literally is from Ronkar again, and it just says, welcome to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Because that's when we added all the mushrooms.
Because that was when we added all the mushrooms into the
Yes.
into the Snugpod. So really, really awesome. I was really excited when I saw those today. So they're now published to the Spotify episodes as comments underneath. So thank you for doing that and for taking the time to leave us a little message there. It means a lot.
It does. Thank you. That
So,
totally made my night. Positive feedback is always great.
Mm-hmm.
so if anyone else would like to leave comments, you can do that. You can also reach us through all kinds of other various formats of communication. You can excommunicate with us if you would like. And that way you can catch all of our exclaims and.
I just realized what you're doing, and it's making me cringe. It's always going to be Twitter.
Make the joke.
Yeah, so you can reach us on previously the format previously known as Twitter at Snugpod Cast. You can also reach us through email, as Crazy said, and apparently she's breaking age barriers and figuring out how to work that. You can hit us up at snugpodcast@gmail.com. And if you are listening to this, you want to watch it, is there a way they can watch it live? Or even like going back later?
I guess. They could go to twitch.tv/snugpodcast, which maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe that's where you've seen us at. You can also search for Snug Podcast on YouTube. So there you go.
Awesome. And if you are watching one of those right now and would like to pick up later and listen in audio format, is that a possibility, Gwen?
You can on your podcatcher of choice.
Woo!
Very good. That was very good. You came back and you were so calm and collected.
Basically, just search Snug Podcast everywhere you go, and it's
You'll probably find us.
Yeah, because it's the coolest name ever, and it's ours.
Apparently so.
Yeah. If you are interested in joining the guild, you can go to eso.loreseekers.club, and that has links to all the things that you need in order to join. So go check that out and come join us in Discord and join us in game. Do we have anything else, ladies?
Oh, just, come watch me destroy people. I mean, no, not destroy people on Saturday for the kids.
I'm so excited, but I'm so sad. I can't play. I hope I can pop in at some point.
September 9th, 3 p.m. Eastern, except it will be twitch.tv at Gwen the Bard. And we will be doing, hopefully, our players will be able to find and save the children of Tamriel who are missing in the Second Era.
No.
We'll see. I don't know. We've got Toasted Peanut, Lotus of Doom, and Crown Esso, and Shanty.
And Shanty, yep.
That's a wild crew right there. I don't know.
Here's the fun part with Isabel. We will have voting and polls throughout, so you are a player. If you are joining, you are a player, and you can help vote and decide what Isabel is doing during the main points throughout the game. And there will also be prizes for all platforms, all platforms, all servers. However, because crown gifting is no longer a thing, it is very much so various on where we're at, and if we meet at least half of our goal, we will start a pink torch bug giveaway. So that is also on the table.
Amazing.
Awesome sauce. All right. Well, I suppose that wraps us up for the week, and that was a big show.
That was a hefty one.
So you're probably going to want to go audio format and listen to this over about 7 rides back and forth to work, but depending on your commute, maybe on a short flight or something. But anyway, thanks for joining us in whichever way you're choosing to do so, and we will hopefully all be able to be back next week to talk some more ESO stuff. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of others, and we will see you then.
Have a good day.
And I'm going to do it this time so that I don't have to sound like Never trying to sound like me.
Oh my god, that was so painful.
Sleep well, Tamriel. I can't even do it with a straight face because I'm just hearing, sleep well, Tamriel.
I think I had it pretty spot on.
Anyway, for real. Sleep well, Tamriel.